Philko here. 7 years later, 38, early in the morning, I figured maybe I could drop some. I'm not even going to drop jewels. I'm going to start asking questions. I don't even know where the camera is on this phone right now. Um, I'm going to start basically making videos, basically just asking you guys about stuff that's been going on in the States because this channel is mostly people in America. And that's one thing I realized. And I think mostly black people in America are on this channel, which gives me an opportunity to ask a lot of questions. And I have a lot of questions to ask. And, I guess I'm gonna wait for some people to get in here. And I think it's way too early for me to be making this video, but whatever. Maybe there's some people up early or something. We'll see what happens. But I need to grab some water. Okay. Oh, just need to drink some water. But I guess I could bring up the topics now, as you guys saw in the title. Like I wanted to ask about, Dr. Umar Johnson. I wanted to ask about Black Lives Matter. I wanted to ask about these things because I don't think I see eye to eye with the average black person, and I'm not militant about this stuff. I'm not going to be all, I know it, I know it. I'm just going to give a little opinion, and then I'm gonna read you guys' comments like crazy and try to see if my mind can be changed because I don't have strong opinions on these things. Because I'm not there in the States. Still haven't been there I haven't lived there since 2013. So I haven't lived in America for 12 years. I've had 2 visits, but I haven't lived there in 12 years still. So yeah, man, I just wanted to ask about Dr. Umar Johnson School. You know what's funny? I remember those old videos I used to make about him and his school and how people kept giving him money. And I'm like, in the old videos, I was saying, y'all need to stop giving this guy money. He ain't making no school, blah, 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 blah. He's a hustler. 8 years later, he still doesn't have a school. 8 years later, to my knowledge, maybe I'm wrong, but he still doesn't have one. So where did all that money go? That's number one. Like, where did all the money go? Like, Dr. Umar Johnson played a lot of people, got his money, whatever. It is what it is. I don't see a school. Maybe I'm wrong. I Googled it before I even made this video. Google's even like, there ain't no school. That's number one. And number two was a whole Black Lives Matter thing. Um, I wasn't making videos during that time about Black Lives Matter. I didn't really say anything about it because I didn't have the channel. And on my other channel, I probably spoke about it a little bit, but that's my English teaching channel. I got to delete a lot of those videos I made over the past like 7 years because I didn't have this channel anymore. So I started making things over there, and that's not what that channel is for. That channel is supposed to be for learning English. So I'm gonna fix that this morning as I go upstairs and do what I have to do. But yeah, the whole Black Lives Matter thing, like I don't know, man. Look, I'll just give a quick opinion on it, and you guys please let me know what you think. But to me, the whole Black Lives Matter thing is like one of those movements, it seems, that took advantage of people's emotions and didn't really make logical sense, even considering the name of the organization. So let's say, not example, the name of the organization is Black Lives Matter. So I guess their main goal is to protect Black lives. Oh, okay, I get that. That's fine. But why does Black Lives Matter focus on the big issues in the news and not the issues that are actually affecting Black lives? That's something I didn't understand the whole time, like at all. Like 0% did I understand that. So let me explain what I mean. If they were protecting Black lives, because they cared about Black lives, wouldn't they mainly focus on the issues that are affecting Black lives the most? Like, wouldn't they focus on that? Because I promise you, it's not the police. That's not the main issue at all with Black lives being affected. It's not police. Now, if you want to go after police issues as well, of course, I'm not against that. I'm not saying they shouldn't, but how often do these guys march when we got some cities with 5 murders in one weekend? Just example. I'm not saying they can't go after other things, but why were those never main one of the main focuses for them? It was never. It was never. They never had marches or big gatherings in the hood, and because trust me, cameras will be there. They never really did that. They only cared about the things that were big in the news and that had some racial aspect to it because they know that gets people's emotions going. That's what it looked like to me. I'm not being militant, but that's just what it looked like to me. That's what they're doing. Now, I've said maybe before this channel even stopped, but I've said one of the biggest problems we have in America is proper punishment for police, and I agree. I don't look at it from a racial aspect. I look at it from a behavioral aspect, a character aspect, things you do, who you are. So if you're a police officer and you plant drugs with someone because they're black or because you had a bad day or because you need to get a quota, to me, that doesn't really matter. What matters is what you did. You planted drugs with someone for no reason. For no reason. You planted drugs with someone, you're a cop. You should be in prison for at least 2 times more than the average person for drug possession and false imprisonment. You should get 2 times the amount of time because you're a cop. And I think organizations like Black Lives Matter can help get these messages across and these ideas out there, like I do. But they blur the topic because they just keep race baiting everything. They keep race baiting it, and that turns off a lot of other people who aren't black, who don't want to get into that kind of racial bubble and fighting for. So, for example, if there's a white dude who's also like, let's say he's a Trump supporter, and he's also like, yeah, these cops get away with it. It's crazy. I don't like it. They shouldn't be able to get away with it. And then Black Lives Matter comes along. They're like, yeah, join us. And he's like, I don't have a problem with black people, but I'm not a. I don't want to support Black Lives Matter, but I do want to support, proper punishment for police. You're losing a lot of allies by making it a black thing. That's what I'm saying. So um, that's just my little 2 cents on Black Lives Matter. And I don't know if any of my followers were like, yeah, Black Lives Matter. Because to me, it just looked like they were taking everybody's money. I don't think people realize when their money's being taken. Because I pay a lot of attention to these things. I'm like, oh, they're making a lot of money for no good reason. And I think like people don't see it coming. Because the first thing I was saying when I noticed Black Lives Matter selling merchandise and all this stuff on their website, people buying it like crazy, I was like, yo, how much of this money is actually going to lawyers of the black families or people who are affected by these shootings they're talking about? Are they putting this money towards the lawyers or something? Like I don't think people pay, especially in the black community. I think on average we don't pay much attention at all to the economics of anything that's going on, especially with the Black Lives Matter thing, even with Dr. Umar Johnson thing. Like, come on, 9 years ago, I'm telling you guys, he ain't making no school. He's just taking money, and that's what happened. 9 years later, he ain't got no school. It's crazy, man. It's crazy. So, yeah, I ain't got that much to say. I was just curious to know about those things, the Dr. Umar Johnson thing and the Black Lives Matter thing, because I do my traveling and stuff. Since I left Russia, I've been traveling to a lot of places where I run into more Black Americans and stuff. And I just realized I'm kind of out of touch. When we communicate about things, I'm kind of always like the odd guy. They're like, yeah, we should support black businesses and stuff. And I'm kind of the one like, that's cool. You guys can do that. But I'm not supporting no business because it's black. I'm going to support a business because I like it. Like, I don't care what, a person looks like. It's about the character. It's about the business. I'm not paying no attention to that. And they're like, that's the problem. We don't stick together. I'm like, first of all, no one sticks together. It's a myth that a lot of black people believe that other races stick together, and you sound ridiculous. It's not true at all. It doesn't matter what community you look like, what group of people you look at, no one all sticks together. Jews don't even stick together. You got Orthodox Jews, you got Zionist Jews, you got anti-Zionist Jews, and they be yelling and fighting with each other in Central Park and And you can look this up. The four Palestine Jews, which I think those are the Orthodox ones. They don't even get along fully. So in their communities they get along very well. Like the ones who live side by side for the most part, yes, but as a whole, no. There's no white team of white people, all these white people get along. No. Even on a world stage, it doesn't work that way. Look at it now. First, I admit, when Biden was in office, it's like all the white countries were getting along except for uh, Belarus, and basically Russia and Belarus, whatever. It's like all white people against them. Now, Trump is going at it with white people. He's like, fuck Europe, fuck Canada. Fuck Mexico too, but he's going at it with white people even harder. He's going after Canada hardcore. So I don't understand why people think there's really this team of white, this team of black. There isn't. The best team you should have is actually the team in your community, the people you live side by side. Don't litter, be respectful, don't rob, don't steal, don't play your music too loud. Get to know your neighbors. Maybe for example, start exchanging goods, buying things from each other, starting shops in your community. That's really where it starts. It's more about in your community than skin color. I think a lot of people don't realize that looking out for your community is much better, and like unionizing with your community is much better than getting together with your race, because it's just not realistic. I say there's three things in reality that really matters when it comes to, let's say, groups. There's only three things that really matter when it comes down to it. It's nations, like the United States, Russia, whatever. Unions, like the European Union, NATO, USSR, stuff like that. And families, like the Rothschilds, the Rockefellers. Those are the only real things that matter when it comes to bonds or groups. These are the only three things that really matter. So when it comes down to war and stuff, those three things are pushing buttons. The nations, the unions, and the families, they're pushing buttons. When I was learning how powerful a lot of these families are, like now and were, like the Rockefellers and stuff, and the families in the Middle East, like the Saudi princes and stuff, these people they're pushing buttons, man. They're getting things done. Like some families got more shit. You guys probably don't know this, but there's families out there with more power than countries, with more worth than countries. Like these families, you just read about these families and stuff. It's kind of, and I ain't saying it's bad. They're just powerful as a mother effer. And people sitting over here talking about black, white, this, that. Families ain't thinking about that. When it comes down to it, countries ain't thinking about that when it comes down to it. When it's time for your ass to go to war, they ain't gonna care what you look like. You're in their nation, you're a citizen, it's time to go fight. Let's go. You know what I mean? And it's mostly a poor people thing with all this black, white, and all this stuff. It's mostly, like honestly, it mostly is. People who are actually getting things done, they look past that because they know it's not really going to matter. At the end of the day, what matters is power, and they're trying to get that money, and they're being smart. So yeah, those are the three things: families, unions, and nations. Maybe I'll ask about Trump or something next video. No, I want to know you guys' opinion. But I'm making this video dumb early, and I should not do that again. So yeah, I'm out. Later. How the fuck?